Good morning, Yolanta. Thank
Good
you very
morning.
much for joining me here. And if I were to introduce you, Yolanta is the owner of the group called I forgot
Conscious
Conscious
leader.
Leaders, Conscious Leaders, where we meet once a fortnight, and everybody has got an opportunity to talk about something that is close to their heart. And I know that your career has been quite extensive. I would like to use this opportunity to find out more about you. Would you be happy to share with me and whoever else might uh, listen to this video?
I just realized I didn't clean up the table. Well,
I can only see the flower, nothing else.
all right, fantastic.
um,
Yes. So
so
you
what?
wanted to introduce myself as what
Yeah,
was my career?
probably just introduce yourself as you would normally introduce yourself, and then we'll proceed into questions. So tell us about you.
Hello, my name is Jolanta Debek-Kozyra. I'm a architect success coach. I help architects to reinvent their brand, and I developed a course that will support that, will give them a complete system how to uh, reinvent themselves.
That's
But
very interesting.
yeah, thank you. But how did I get here? Because it's been such a long journey. As a young girl, when I discovered architecture, I fell in love in architecture, and that was it. That was, I called it my first love. That's all I could think about, and so I think now when I combine it with the coaching, I had that was my own wisdom that I put a plan, I put a vision, what I want to achieve in my life. And strangely enough, this vision even had, so I had goals and I had dates. I actually had dates and I followed those dates throughout my life. So I was measuring myself, how am I achieving this goal? So I think it's very important to start any career, any journey is to have a vision. Where do I want to go? And then figuring out the path. How will I get there? So, so what happened after that? I was in Poland, and it wasn't easy to actually get into the university, even though I was the, one of the best students at the high school. I still had to go and pass those exams. And eventually I got to university and I started to study. And we already had an idea in the family that we would most likely leave the country. But the moment, the pivotal moment there was then when the one of the tutors asked me a question: why do you study architecture? There are no jobs in the country for architects. So that was definitely okay. I'm going to speed this up and I'm going to go to Australia. So my career in general have been the a career of driving the ambition and taking the opportunity and always being watching for those opportunities to match them with my path. Where do I want to go? And I saw architecture that I chose architecture because I thought there was a perfect combination of creativity and social impact. And I really wanted to, my first attempt was that I wanted to have an impact in my own family and providing, I imagined that through building new home will be the opportunity for my family to become a different persons. So, so I wanted to inspire them. So they wanted more from their own lives. And I thought I can't describe them what I want for them, but if I change the environment, they will want more. And that happened definitely. But
Beautiful.
going back to, yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just you said that you had such a beautiful goal is to combining the creativity and the social impact, wanting that impact and coming to Australia to achieve that. I wanted you to mention that pinnacle where you felt, yeah, when you felt like an architect, when you felt that you got through to somebody.
Yes. So that was a journey because, architecture, it's quite a long course. But at
Mm.
the end of that course, it's really hard to find a job. I was lucky because I was working throughout the course here in Australia. But you feel like you are on a high level, intellectual level, but it's very hard to actually fit yourself in a working environment, what the real business wants. So that was this big barrier. And it's very frustrating. And that's why I understand young professionals. They
Mm.
finish that university course on a high, and then they go into the real environment and they lose their confidence. And that's what happens to everyone. And that's my goal is, don't give up on yourself. I support you. I help you to go through this moment because it's definitely different skill set required to be able to wave yourself and grow into the architecture field and be successful there. So I've allowed myself that journey, even though it was frustrating. I allowed myself that journey. And so the first pivotal moment was that I've realized that there is no future for me as an architect in Australia. I won't be able to achieve my dreams. So I need to move. And I moved to Australia. And at the time, I still remember, I thought I will learn English in 3 months' time. I was very frustrated that I cannot, because I arrived in end of November and the course was starting in February. I insisted that I start in February and I couldn't speak English. So that was another realization.
Wow.
But with the persistence, I finally got there. Not immediately, but I got there. There were a few steps that I needed to overcome, and finding a job was actually helpful because um, people who were interviewing me, they saw that I'm really serious about becoming an architect. So I completed architecture here. I graduated and we had a recession at the time. And I lost the jobs and it was hard to find. And so I decided I will work any job. And I worked for engineers. And it was actually a good choice because I learned, hydraulics. I work for hydraulics, electrical, and mechanical. And I've learned a big deal. I was there for 12 months, which was really benefiting me later on as an architect
Definitely,
because
definitely.
when the hydraulic engineers was telling me that this can't be done, I knew that he is not right. And I was showing him how he could do that because I knew the goal, what he needed to achieve. So um, so what I would suggest for people in every profession, spread your wings and
Mm.
don't think that is undervaluing you because might learn skills that will benefit you later on your path, and specifically if it relates to your path. But you can always find something that is relatable. So when I eventually, after graduation, found a job, it was a low-paid job in a small architectural practice. And but I thought, okay, there was a good place where I could grasp all the skills, architectural skills. And once I acquired all those skills, I thought, okay, my next goal is to find a well-paid job. I can't stay here because I need to build my financial capacity to be able to build what I want to build. And so I left that job without actually having a job, I I decided I'm going to focus on finding the right job. And it took 2, 3 months before I found the job, but I found it. And it was my income doubled, just doubled, simply doubled. And I thought, okay, well, this money, now I'm going to focus on investing the money. But then I have to go back to university because now I'm serious. I need property development skills
Yes.
on top of my architectural skills. So I was working, I was studying, acquiring more skills, and I started to invest and learning about investment worlds. Well, a great deal. I've done many things, but um, but as I was expanding my property development knowledge, I worked for the company where this knowledge was important. I was able to add this to my to my toolkit. And people, my clients were noticing that I know that. So I was their choice, architect choice for certain types of projects. And I'm talking about large scale projects. And and so again, I grabbed those opportunity, even though I wasn't 100% sure that I will be able to provide them with this knowledge. But I was in a good environment because these people were highly skilled in a property development. So I thought, okay, I'm going to learn from them, and I'm going to be architect for them with this understanding what they're talking about. So because of my approach, I was always very flexible. I was able to step into various roles. So, from project architect to team leader to organizing a new product and service for the organization, to project manager, development manager, and in the end, I was even an asset manager. So I've had this range of skills, and I always had the close contact with architects, and I was watching them not being happy with what they're doing and what they're achieving. And I thought, well, how different are they from me? They could do what I'm doing.
This
So
is
I was kind of nagging them all the time that, guys, you have so much knowledge, you don't even utilize 3/4 of it.
Well, this is absolutely wonderful, Jolanta. If I can summarize so far, you have trends of architecture from very early in Poland. You came and you actually finished your degree, even though you had to learn English at the same time, which probably is hard. Then you have and the component architectures, I would say, referring to those specific items that with you mentioned hydraulics and other things that are definitely needed for someone that is building something, and then we progressed into property development where you can fully utilize it and become the oversighting manager, project manager, development manager, and then so this is quite a career. And then you were able to help others.
Yes,
I mean,
definitely. Always.
deliver their skills. So how in that, what made you shift to coaching?
So, there was another aspect because I always say that whatever I do in my life, I have to experiment on me first.
Mm.
So I was starting from the small projects of my own. The first I built a gazebo in my parents' backyard, and I had to figure out how will I manage my husband and my father into this project, and will we finish. So that was my first project, but then I did renovations. Then I built a big project, building a duplex. And so
Wow.
so I was and then I after that I started to build up the confidence, because at first I didn't trust nobody. So I had to be owner builder, or my husband. I had to, watch everything. And and then I progressed through the project that I was actually able to engage a builder, proper builder. And so he took off a lot of project management of my hands, which was fantastic. So I really developed a skill, a system. I knew with this knowledge, I can just turn and make money all the time, because I've learned through building that, my first big development was I overcapitalized because it was my baby. But then I had to learn how to do the minimum and maximize the profit, right? And so perhaps I mention about my next pivotal moment, which was GFC in 2008 and 9, where we went through the financial crisis globally, and that affected my business as well. So I've lost quite a lot of money in that process. And so I was sitting there and thinking, okay, I could just crash down, or maybe I could start again and build up my funds. So because I was about to leave the job at that point, I thought I'm going to go on my own. Maybe I should build this up again. So a lot of thoughts were coming through, but then I thought, no, there's a final dream in me that I really need to build business on my own. And so there were two thoughts in my head. Okay, do I want to, because I needed to create a cash flow, new cash flow. So I thought I need to start a business. I could start a business, architectural services, and coaching appealed to me as the right way to go. And you've asked the question, why did I move into coaching? Because somehow when I worked with and not only architects, other professionals who were turning to me and said, I'm changing their life forever. Somehow I was affecting them, was telling them very directly, because I'm a very direct person. And some people like it, some people don't. I was able to help them to find their genius and help them to not waste time with certain things, but focus on their strengths.
Beautiful. Jolanta, can I interrupt you here and just bring back again using the trust me model? Because listening to you, I can see that you have actually gone through all the stages of trust me model. So it's so worthwhile to reflect on that. You were starting at the beginning, uncertain of yourself, right? With a dream. And you were totally on your own, not knowing the language, not knowing the people here. You got yourself into the environment when you were working with architects. Then you became independent by delivering your own projects, right? Then you mentioned yourself that you through your stages of your life and stages of your progression, you developed the system in which you could not only grow further yourself, but also help others. And you were helping others at work and privately, the property developers and architects building their own dream. Then you became and started delivering to more into community, introducing your family in this respect, building things for somebody else's pleasure while also working. And there came a moment when you had a choice, right? There came a moment when you had a choice to either stay further with the services and do more of the same, or grow further into coaching. And that's where your career flips back to the starting point. Well, this is absolutely amazing. I let you continue from there. So you decided.
Thank you for recapping, Barbara, because it's very important that someone with the knowledge like you have can pick up those moments. And they were exactly those moments that I could continue growing on that path. But I knew that you know, I needed to expand. I needed to grow to be able to be more effective. And, I asked myself a question, what do I don't know? And if I applied this to where I am, what results would I have? And so I tossed the coins. It was a real gambling, stopping all this. I had some financial situation that I need to figure out. Oh, my camera decided to come back to normal position. And like everyone around me was asking, "What are you, Yolanda? What are you doing? Why are you doing? Why breaking, your success path?" But I couldn't even explain to them what was it. And I always have this voice. I call it guardian angel. I and I always say that what I've achieved in life is because of that voice. It's not because of me, because I am clever. It's because I allowed that voice to speak and I listen to it. And that voice will, sometimes I have some crazy ideas and the voice doesn't put any weight on that. So it means I don't go that path. But then I have other ideas and the voice will put a not light on that. It means I should go that way. And so the voice was putting light on my change. And I thought, okay, well, that must be important then. And it was
Wow.
I was tossing the coin inside me. And today I know that that guardian angel voice knows more about me than I do know about me. And I was able in the last few years discover things about myself that I never knew existed. And I just am on a different level of living today than I was living then. Before I was chasing a dollar, I was chasing the career, I was chasing so many things. And I was trying to help everyone. I was frustrating why they can't. I was frustrated with myself that I can't help them better. But what it needed, I needed to relax all that. I needed to just let it go and do this direction that my voice was putting light on, to study more about human behavior, about strategies, about more wisdoms from successful people and so forth. And that gives me such a satisfaction that I feel so fulfilled. And I haven't mentioned because I had this little dream many, many years ago. Um, and my friend, when I came to Australia, we befriended the English couple. They were older than us. And they gave us a lot of wisdom as well. And he was always making fun of me because my favorite architect was Frank Lloyd Wright. And so he was making jokes. Sometimes I fall into those jokes. But at the time, I read that in his Frank Lloyd Wright had had kind of periods in his career. And in one stage, he opened this place. Now I forgot the place. I always know that where he organized like a camp for architects, young architects, and they were learning to be architects in practice.
Wow.
And so it was a foundation. That foundation was stopped, but it's still there. And I thought Frank Lloyd Wright passed away more or less the time when I was born. And I thought, then I'm taking his torch to continue this. So this is my dream.
Wow. This is actually beautiful, really beautiful to be taking on a big mission from somebody. And have you delivered a workshop taking people out of the environment and letting them practice, or that is still to come?
This is still coming, because my big dream is that I will create a community of high achievers and people who really want to achieve something. And the building industry is huge, so I'm imagining that this community have an arm of architects when we upskill architects to fit into greater property development and build this environment, so they just come out of themselves and expand their skills. And in this community we have builders, project managers, developers, and investors combined, because we build the trust and we can tackle huge, exciting projects.
I think it's very important, because if you look at parts of Australia, they look like a very well thought of project, and some parts of Australia are still sort of very random, right? And that's what I thought I was missing from Europe when I was thinking about the big cities. I always thought that big cities are the same around the world. It's not. So there is a big opportunity. So I like that holistic approach, really do.
Thank you. So this is where I'm going with that. And it took me a while, because, when I started in coaching, I was in leadership at the time. And so leadership was very close to my heart, always has been, because true leadership, starting with ourselves, lead other people, lead group of people. And because I have been leading group of people, a diverse group of people, I can see that there is a lot to be done in that area. So, I've drawn on the CAM model. I said, okay, well, this is fantastic. If I knew about this earlier in my being a leader, and I could apply that, that will greatly help, because that is a system, that is a strategy, how to manage people to the best results. Since then, I've learned other strategies, and so I kind of dwindled. I kind of walk around. What is the most important for architects to tackle first, and second and third, to be able to succeed? And about a year ago, 2 years ago, when I started to come closer and closer. So I came and I put together many courses, and they were mostly focusing on leadership themselves and leadership other people. But then I kind of came back and came up with the idea of that there needs to be a identity shift. So I created that course, and then last year, and now I'm recording the course, which is going to be my signature course, Architect Expert.
Beautiful. Now, the very purpose, I just got flagged that we have got limited time left, about 9 minutes. I would like to ask you my final question. I am noticing that people that are joining coaching come from various backgrounds. And some people, just like you, immediately find the purpose and are able to bring the knowledge and the skills they are learning in coaching back to their environment. And I think this is the way. There are some that take time to realize that their background is so important. And that kind of included me as well. So from your own experience, I would like you to comment, and for the purpose, for the benefit of other students, on the importance of backgrounds, whatever they are, that we bring into coaching to grow our new self in a particular direction. So it is not like you have lived 50 years or so and now you have to start from scratch, because coaching is really about bringing everything you've got. And with the extra skills you get from coaching, you get a step further. What do you think you would like to pass on based on your experience to others?
To others. Great question, Barbara. Okay, so let me just synthesize it because I've had so many ideas as you were talking about this. So first of all, I came to coaching with a real purpose, and which combined to my goal, my dream, as I was 18 years old. I wanted to impact people. Now, as I was coming across my life, I I had, being a leader, I had responses, right? And so sometimes I wasn't satisfied with those responses. And there were two things. There was something happening on my side. So I was going through some frustrations. And then there were no results on the other side. And I saw I wanted to be more effective in working with people because my purpose in life is that people become better, better and confident in themselves, and they can just grow and overpass me. I have no problems. This is my goal. I want them to grow, overpass me, and just surprise me like crazy. So how do I help them so they don't waste the time of fighting with me? They see that I'm on their side, and I can see they have a bigger genius than themselves and bigger genius than me. So that was my purpose. My purpose was to get to my goal faster. I've realized that I need to do more growth. But going back to your earlier question, that a lot of people get lost. I got lost in the beginning as well because I was, for first, I was dealing with my own identity, that I had to put my successful identity on the side. I needed to go back to the drawing board, and I need to listen and learn and see what is the gap in me, because I had a huge gap where I wanted to go. I didn't have skills there. I didn't have understanding. And here I am pushing through like a bull, uh, with no tools in me. So I needed to do it. And so that was this big slap on the face. And therefore, I came through the time that I I kind of lost the confidence in me, who I was, and now I'm still learning on a drawing board. And what do I want? I'm putting on me something that doesn't exist. So there is a lot of work in our to be done about ourselves, and it applies to everyone. So first of all, what I would suggest to those people, you have came here because you have a mission. Whether you understand it or not, the universe has chosen you to go and progress because you have some values. If you didn't, you wouldn't be here in the coaching environment. You have a value. You've gone through the woods, through the difficulties. You've developed something. You have some knowledge that is valuable for next generation. But now you need to do some work on yourself. And that's when we get lost and we lose confidence about something there. And once we finish that work in us, and that's what happened to me a couple of years ago, I said, well, what am I doing here? Why am I playing like a first-year student? I've already been successful. I have to step back into me and speak my own wisdom. I
That is
combine
beautiful.
all this, combine and listen what I've learned, adjust who I am. But I never was shy. I always, it was the first one who would ask the question. Because, I'm standing on the ground. I know that I'm not perfect. I know that don't know a lot of things, but what I know, right? And so it's no time to be shy about, and everyone has that. Believe me, you just have to decide. We all have that confidence. We know something that is valuable for others. But when there is a time when you're lost, when you're looking for, to upgrade in you, that's when then the confidence, the part who you truly are, is waiting on the side and say, okay, do this work, whatever you need to do, I'll come back.
Beautiful. And Joanna, so what I heard is decide, recognize you have something in you, and what would be the one last advice that you would give? And that will probably get us to the end of our time.
To the coaches?
Whoever. I mean, coaches are
whoever,
an example.
to the people.
Yes.
I think that the only purpose we are here, we are alive, we've been chosen, is to grow. That's the only purpose we are here.
And
it's to grow.
Decide,
and so
recognize,
find your path.
Find your path, yes.
Connect with yourself. Find who what is your path, your legacy, basically. What do you want to leave behind? Because we are not here. We can decide to be, I call them mushrooms. We can decide just to grow and fertilize the ground, but we may as well fertilize the humanity. I'm talking about the mind.
Thank you very much, Joanna. So find your path and take a look at this successful journey of Joanna. Look for inspiration and make it your own. Thank you very much, Joanna, for this interview. It has been a great pleasure.
Thank you very much, Barbara. It's been fantastic to actually talk about this, because there's no many opportunity that I can talk about that wisdom, but it's beautiful.